Welcome to the Prabhudas Leeladhar webinar. Today is the day 4, and today the topic is going to be how to have a financial planning as far as your risk reward ratio is concerned. How do you get into a trade which is going to be favorable with a favorable risk reward? Now, what do we mean by risk reward? That will be the main topic. So let's start with our presentation. So when a trader wants to get into a trading strategy, we always say that one must have a favorable risk reward ratio. So what do we mean by a favorable risk reward ratio? So when you are planning a trade buy strategy, for instance, one has to have a predetermined setup as to how much loss one is ready to take for that particular trade and how much gain is expected from this particular trade. So the risk reward ratio in this aspect has to be favorable. Normally for intraday, it is 1:2. For slightly more than that, it would be ideal ratio. For any other positional trade would be 1:3. But minimum 1:2 to 1:2.5 to 3 is a favorable risk reward ratio. So that is what we mean, that when you are getting into a trade, for example, if you are getting into a trade for Ashok Leyland and your buy entry comes at around 47 and your stop loss comes to around 45, you must at least have 3 times more than your risk that you're ready to take. So you, unless and until you take another 3% high, that is say around 53 to 55 levels, if that is your target, then that would be a favorable trade for Ashok Leyland. So this is what we mean by a favorable risk reward ratio. Now, how does one do that? Because risk reward ratio is calculated depending on what strategy you use, whether you're using the moving average, whether you're using the combination of moving average and RSI, whether you are using trend line. So far we have covered these 3 topics. So we shall be focusing more on these and try and define our trading strategies. So here is a note. The risk reward ratio marks the prospective reward an investor can earn for every dollar or a rupee he or she is risking on the investment. Many investors use risk reward ratios to compare the expected return on an investment with the amount of risk they must undertake to earn these returns. The risk reward also helps investors to manage the risk of losing money on trade. So if a trader has some profitable trades, now this is applicable to traders who are constantly in and out of the trade. That is, either they are going on the short side or they are going on the long side. For example, we were talking on the very first day on the index, you may either go long, you may either go short. So how many favorable trades are we getting? So the strike rate or the success rate when you are dividing the comparing between the winning trades and the losing trades, because when you're trading, it is very likely and very inevitable that you are going to come across failing trades as well. But what matters is the number of winning trades and the number of losing trades that you come across, and the ratio between that and the return that it gives you. So that is how on backtesting one can realize as to where they are going wrong, how they can better their trades, and this is how we are going to take it forward. So traders often use the approach to plan which trade to take, and the ratio is calculated by dividing the amount a trader stands to lose if the price of an asset moves in an unexpected direction. So that is a contrarian move. So if you are going on a buy side, but well, market continues to be volatile and backed by some news, or if the rally or the momentum fizzles out and the momentum does not take place as per your expectation, it goes in the reverse direction. So your stop loss has to be kept intact if you are a hardcore trader, and that is how you will minimize your, and you do not turn from a trader to a investor or a positional trader. If you are in intraday trader, you have your rules intact. If you are a positional trader, you have your stop losses kept intact, because you do not budge once the trade is failed. You need to exit. That is the strategy and discipline what one needs to follow. Now, as we just spoke about the win and loss ratio, so here is a note on that. The win by loss ratio is the ratio of the total number of winning trades of the number of to the number of losing trades. It does not take into account how much was won or lost, but simply if they were winners or losers. So, well, the points are not calculated, it is not definite, but well, the number of winning trades and number of losing trades are taken into account. And that is how we come to our success ratio or our winning ratio. Now, there are some happenings which are unavoidable. Example, gap up opening or gap down opening. So you are on in one direction of a trend. Say you are in a buy side, and suddenly on back of some result or some news, you see the very next day it is a gap down opening, which is much below your stop losses, and which we have seen in the previous few years. Well, that one example which I cannot forget is Yes Bank. So news based, well, one should not go for news based. Even when the results season are going on, you see some stocks prior to the result, they do get into momentum or they do show some profit booking. So whatever your strategy is to minimize your gap risk, one needs to exit their trade before the announcement. So for example, if we are expecting an Axis Bank result coming at 11 o'clock, morning 9 o'clock, or the previous evening, your trade has to be squared off. That is how you can control the gap risk, which we often come across even during the day, or it could be just as the day begins, because what happens after the market hours, it is not in our control, and you can control these big gap down risks that one needs to take care of. Now we shall start with using of moving average and how we can control our stop losses, how we can better our trades. So moving averages are primarily, this is just a recap of what we have done in the first lecture and yesterday also with a combination of RSI. So this is just a brush up for what we have learned. Moving averages are primarily used as trend indicators and trend filters. They are quantified technical trading indicators that can be used for backtesting and signal creation. So, well, for good understanding, I would say that one must go into the history and see how the moving average that you are applying right now, how has it worked? And when you do, as we had mentioned, that before you start actual trading, start with paper trading. Just make a note of all the buy signals and all the sell signals that you get, the returns that you are getting on each trade, how much is the ratio, your win and loss ratio, is it justified, is it giving you a good return? That is how you then carry on with the coming trading signals. So, well, as I repeat, they are quantified technical trading indicators that can be used for backtesting and signal creation. Using moving averages to capture profitable trends are only one side of their usefulness. What enables moving averages to work as profitable technical trading tools is their ability to manage risk. So yesterday we also learned about crossovers of two moving averages, and we also discussed that the smaller moving average has a smaller lag time, so it gives indicators much quicker than the longer period moving average that one would use. So let us see how it functions here. Here are 5 ways to use a moving average as a risk management tool. Moving averages can create good risk reward ratio by establishing the risk in any trade entry by using a moving average as a stop loss. So this we shall be studying in detail. In the previous webinars, we have mentioned just roughly as to how we have calculated our stop loss, but today we shall be doing that in detail to get us into favorable trades. So after an entry with a longer term moving average, if the trade goes in your favor, you can use a shorter term moving average as a trailing stop loss to manage the risk of your open profits on a winning trade. So this is an example, as we mentioned, that the smaller period moving average gives you a quicker buy signal and then followed by a crossover of a longer period moving average. The example in the recent past, have a look at Hindustan Unilever on the daily chart. Well, we saw it did make a high of around 25, 2300, 25, 2600 levels. And from there on, we saw that it broke down the smaller moving average and then we thought that on 2300 it was probably a 100-day moving average and that it was going to take support on, but that also is broken. So now we are banking on the 200-day moving average, which comes around 2100 levels. So this is one observation one needs to take to understand this trade better. But well, we do have our chart clips for a better understanding as well. But traders who are tracking the market on a regular basis, one needs to look at Hindustan Unilever daily chart, plot your moving averages right from 50 to 100 to 200, and you will understand as to what I am saying. Now, moving average signals can keep you in cash during bear markets and downtrends to avoid big losses by fighting a trend. So as soon as your long-term trend is reversed, it goes below the moving average, the ideal strategy is to exit this trade. You may not go short, but you may at least exit the trade. So using moving averages as risk management again, the distance your price level entry is from your moving average can help you establish a proper position size for the distance of your stop loss. Now, what does this mean? Now, the very first example on the intraday trading, we had seen that the first buy signal we had got after the stock crossing above the moving average, but it was with a deep gap up. So that was quite a dangerous strategy because the stop loss would be much lower as compared to your buy price, which was not affordable. So what does one do? I repeat, if it is with a gap up, you either start with a day's low or you wait for the stock to retrace to take the support of the moving average, whereby your stop loss comes much closer to your buy price and it becomes a favorable trade with the favorable risk reward ratio. So this is what we mean, that the distance of your buy, it may not be even a gap up. It could be that the first very candle you're not ready to take above the moving average. You will be waiting for a confirmation and you will take the trade on the following moving average, following candle formation. But the first very candle occurred is very big. So that means it is an above average movement for that particular time period or for that particular day. Then, well, again, your distance becomes much longer. Your stop loss is much lower than your buy price. So the ideal way would be when your price is consolidating or when your price is coming closer to take the support of your moving average and your stop loss is just a few points below the moving average, that would become a favorable trade. And again, this would turn out to be a favorable risk reward. So these are the few points one needs to definitely check, because we often see a buoyant market when most of the stocks, many sometimes indices, they all come with a gap up opening. Then you just stay put. That is the reason why we say that first 15 minutes to half an hour is just an observation. One need not get into the aggressive trading mode, because that often leads to a failed strategy. So a moving average crossover signal can help us filter out the false signals during a volatile market environment and avoid unnecessary losses being chopped up. Moving averages can both make you money during uptrends and help you save from a lot of losing of money during volatile and downtrend. So here is an example. This is again Hindustan Unilever. We are using the 20 period and we are using the 50 period moving average over here. And let us see the very first signal that we get. I had mentioned that when two moving averages converge, that means it gives a very solid buy signal. So over here, they are pretty much at the same level. The first candle which occurs above both these moving average gives you a buy signal, and thereby you take on the rally, go for your trade, and you may either just go as per your set targets or you wait, because when your stock is crossing below the smaller period time frame. So the blue one is the smaller period, the 20 period moving average, and the orange one is the 50 period moving average. So over here it has happened that it has broken the 20 period and we are getting the buy exit signal. So this is how you maximize your profit, and you also are more cautious at these levels. Now, when do you get your sell signal? Sell signal you are getting when it is when both your stocks are when your stock is below both the moving averages. That is when your sell signal occurs. And when would you exit your sell? When it crosses the smaller period moving average. So the next arrow that we see, exit sell, is when the stock is moving past the smaller period, the 20 period moving average, and an aggressive buy you may add on to your position. So for example, if you want to go very cautious on your trade, you may buy your 20%, 30% of your stock over here. And once you get a confirmation that the stock goes above both the moving averages, that is a confirmation of strength in the stock, and that is where you would add your position in that particular stock. Sail through, go through the rally again. Once again, when it crosses the small period moving average, you exit your trade and again wait for the next signal. So this is how you can continuously keep trading just in one particular stock. So this is how the combination of these two moving averages help. You may use any time period to suit yourself. It could be a 50 and 100. It could be a 20 and a 30 period just for a confirmation for quick trading. It could be a 20 and 80 period, whatever suits you. But for just these common numbers, we use 20, 50, 100, 200. So that is how you can see your testing, back testing also, see how you get the results, and then accordingly get into your trades. Now this is another stock. Now see these HDFC Limited, and this is the daily chart after the fall. Now aggressive traders have the first buying opportunity. Aggressive traders, we just see that the RSI over here has been in an oversold zone. RSI is in the oversold zone. It is showing a positive divergence. It is coming. Yesterday, we learned that from the oversold, it goes about 30. And that is the time when it is time to show reversal. And similarly, the stock has made double bottom at 1480 levels. So aggressive traders may want to go into this because, well, for logic's sake, the stock right from 2400 fallen to 1400 levels and now making a double bottom with RSI improvement, we may just take a fraction of your trade over here. Then comes the confirmation with your following subsequent candles, they are making higher highs, and that is when you would, because then the first two cluster of candlesticks, they are moving past. So that is the resistance area. The resistance was 1550, 1570. The next following candle comes above that. You may increase your trading strategy more so over here, and then you will elevate your stop loss. So if 1480 was your buy level, I'm sure you would keep your stop loss at around 1420, 1430. And from there on, when you add to your trade, you may then elevate your stop loss. You keep a trailing stop loss to 14, your buy price, the actual buy price that you first got into. So that is your 1480 levels. And then the confirmation comes once it crosses the smaller period time frame. So this is the 20-day moving average. The first candle yesterday, this is yesterday's chart, I think. We saw that it has closed above the 20 period moving average, and today's movement, we all know it has given a very good up move because it took support of the small period moving average, and now I think today's close is pretty much near 1840. It did give a good rally from here on. So this is how we make our trades favorable and we make our stop losses strict, and keep elevating, keep on having your trailing stop loss as and when we move higher. So now, for now, in this current scenario, we will take our 50 period moving average as the resistance level. Step by step, if we go, we see there are two prominent candlesticks near our moving average where we have written 20 period, and that is the value of around 1840. So 1 minute, I've just lost it. Yes. So that is the level of 1840. If it resists over there, one may book partial profit. But for an understanding the use of two moving averages, we will be seeing that the 50 period moving average value would act as a resistance. So once it moves past, decisively moves past, we confirm that there is further strength, and you may then elevate your stop loss to around 1570 levels and 1700 levels, higher and higher as your price goes higher. So this is how you will maximize your profit. You do not lose out on your profit, and you also get your stop losses intact. Now, the logic of trend trading. One often says that the trend is your friend. One must definitely go with the trend. Right now, I do come across people who ask me, are there any sell trades? But if you are our regular followers, if you see our buy strategies given since a couple of days, we have stopped giving you sell calls. Why so? Because right from 7,500, we see a reversal and we see that the Nifty is going higher. And now we feel that we yesterday also spoke that we are now heading towards 97, 9,800. So the current trend is a buying trend. We are seeing an up move. So we do not go against the trend. We normally choose the stocks. We normally choose the trading strategies which are in favor of the trend, because this was also discussed earlier that your advanced decline, there is going to be more participation on the buying side. There is going to be more participation on short covering. So we avoid any contrarian trends. So this is how one must be wise enough to understand the trend first, see the overall scenario as to how the market is behaving, and then accordingly choose your trends. I mean, of course, stock specific, you may go in favor of contrarian, but or more so to as beginners or also for comfort level, one should always follow the trend. So during the rising and the falling trend, it is recommended to open positions in direction of the trend. As traders often say, a trend is your friend. In other words, if the pair reaches support line during an uptrend, so that is what when we spoke about trend lines. So we had also drawn channels, which we will be showing subsequently. But well, when we were drawing channels, when the stock was coming towards the support, we were trying to execute a buy trade. And when it is an uptrend, overall uptrend, your focus should be more to buy at support levels and book out on resistance. So this is what we mean that follow the trend, go with the trend. So buying an uptrend and selling in a downtrend is called trend trading. The goal is to enter the trend at an early stage in order to get the maximum profit from the trading of that particular trend. Now, course of action. Determine the trend with the help of price action. So this is what we said, that first, when you draw a trend line, when you try to connect the pivot points and you see that there is a upward move of your trend line, that means we are in an uptrend. And when you're drawing your trend line and it is showing downer path, it is a downtrend. So you first determine your trend, then you follow the trading strategies. So determine the trend with the help of price action and technical indicators. Plan the entry buying on the recoil from support. So once when the stock is confirming taking support of the trend line and then it is bouncing back, that is the time you make your buy strategies and follow the stop losses on basis of that. So this is what will make your trade a less risky one. And once also, we have recommended that when there is a resistance and when it moves past, it gets into a different price territory. So that also is a trend buy, but well, that often leads to failed trades, because so many times we have seen that it's just a spike in the trade in a stock or an index showing a breakout, but it does not sustain at those higher levels and it again retraces. So this is where your RSI, where it takes support, that will come into picture along with your moving average and your RSI. So the combination will work very well. Limit losses, for example, put the stop below the previous high low, determine the target, that is take your profit, and that should of course exceed the stop loss levels. Now, this is the recap of what we had done earlier also. Now, as we see that it is making pivot points where we are connecting and there is a channel formation. Look at every instance, the first instance that we see well over here, that is giving us a buy strategy, taking support of the trend line. So your stop loss should be either the previous low, which you go where the up move starts, the midpoint of the swing, or you can be a bit lenient, you can go right where the swing had just begun. So that could be your stop loss level to give a big good leverage. And then follow the trend, because anyways your risk reward ratio is going to be much higher. So that is how you plan. Book out, because this is where your resistance lies. Book your profit and again wait for a retracement. This is midway of the rally. Maybe you, that is also a good buying opportunity if it is a strong uptrend, or you may exit on your uptrend buy call that you had taken prior. You may exit there and wait for the new round of momentum. So the new round of momentum, well, the midway is not applicable. You will again wait for the stock to meet the support line. So this is your support line where again you are getting your buy strategy, and that is how you carry on the trade as long as the trend level, the market moves or the stock moves within this channel. The minute it moves beyond or below, the strategies change. You reverse the trend. You do not buy. If you have bought, your stop loss gets hit, and if you are an aggressive trader, you may go short, keeping the first high above the trend line as your stop loss. So this one where it was your buying opportunity, this particular candle now becomes your stop loss level for your sell strategy. So this is how one can be in the trade, but on the reverse side of the trade. All this while you were on the long side. Now, once it has given a decisive break of the trend line, we reverse our strategy. So one, with a failed trade, you can make it into a profitable trade to get it into a sell one, and keeping the stop loss, which was the previous candle high above the trend line support. So this is how you can always be in the stock and create your trading strategies. Now this is the use of RSI. So now this is again, we are just focusing on RSI, adding your moving averages, adding your trend line and using RSI. Keep a note, RSI independently it works once it is in the oversold zone, and when you are getting your signals, like when we saw in HDFC Limited, it gives a confirmation. When it bounces back from the 30 and it moves, see, the first instance it did come to the it gave a bounce, but it did not sustain. And so we were waiting for a confirmation, because that is why we say that we do not buy on the first candle. You wait for a confirmation for the following candle to come. Does it go higher? Is the RSI going higher? It failed the first time, but the second time it has moved past that resistance level and it gave us a good buy move. And from there on, it was a continuous buy. You may have booked when the RSI comes towards the oversold territory, and then again follow your rules with your moving average and your channel patterns, whatever you are comfortable with, and try the entry and exit. We also studied that when the stock or an index is getting into a strong bull trend, follow the RSI at level 50, because that would again give you a good buying opportunity. And if it is a weak market, 50 acts as a resistance level. Create your sell strategies when your RSI comes towards 50 and for a further sell signal. So that is how one will get into these trades, following the rules of RSI, your moving average crossovers, and the trend line. So this is now the current example, what we are seeing of LIC Housing. We have a moving average of 9 period. This is a 15-minute chart, and have a look how many clear signals we have got with the help. Have a look at the combination of crossovers. Have a look at the combination of crossovers with the RSI and how beautifully it has worked. So this is what we mean that less is more. You need not get into so many indicators. You need not get into so much of GAN or Elliott wave for short-term trading. Just few strict discipline that you would follow will give you favorable trade. So this is what we have seen. In spite of uncertain market, if you go stock specific, you do definitely get your good round off, and by constantly being in the trade, you do get your profit margins much more than your losing trades, because there are instances when market gives you false signals. It goes above the moving average, then again it comes down, it retraces. So this is where you would be getting your wrong trades. But overall, if you continuously follow the rules, your ratio of winning trades to the losing trades will be much more, and of course much more profitable. So this is what I mean by being on either side of the trade trend and also following the rules. So once again, to make it clear, over here the 9 period moving average is the blue one, and the 21 period is the orange one. So have a look. There is a convergence of both the moving averages, whereby the stock has been consolidating. We immediately get a buy signal, and from there on it's a good up move right from 220 to around 240. So this is where it was, the stock was just holding on to the small term moving average, and the minute we see that there is a crossover, it falls below, you exit, you book out on your profit. And as I said, the larger period time frame would act as a support, and that is what precisely happened. Once again, you get your buy signal, either you keep 2 to 3% for your intraday trades, or you exit, because 2 to 3 would be a very fair good amount of profit one can get for an intraday perspective. Because by the time, sometimes it so happens that you really wait for the stock to retrace towards the moving average, it comes back to from where you were buying, the price where you bought it from. So for an intraday, keep your trading stop losses. That is how you will be in the trade with maximum profit. So this was a good example of LIC Housing. Now we have State Bank of India. That is what we were talking, that keep buying at the support levels. So this is, I think, a monthly chart of State Bank of India. Yes, this is the monthly chart. The long-term trend line that we have seen, it is the stock is respecting the trend line time and again. In our previous buy recommendations also, we have recommended the stock over here currently at around 170 levels we had recommended, and today we are seeing that the stock is coming towards I think 190. It has closed at around 190, 192. So this is what we mean, that the trend line support has been observed, and we are asking you to buy, because from here on your stop loss would be just 10 points below. It could be 160, but how much are you expecting? If you put your smaller term time frame, if you drop down to the smaller period, say from a monthly you come to daily and see how the stock is progressing, it will give you good buy entry. It will give you good resistance levels. So right now, when you are seeing the monthly, if you are a long-term investor and this is a 100-period moving average, your resistance would lie at 240 purely on moving average understanding. So this is how beautifully the trend line works. So for good, wise and prompt buying at the right levels, the study is very much essential, because you don't go midway when the rally has already begun. If by chance you have lost the buying opportunity, you wait for the stock to retrace to the near term support of moving average or some retracement. We will be studying hopefully next lecture about how the higher bottom formation takes place, how the lower tops takes place, and how you can get into the trade. So now over here also, now let's get into the example. Since we are on SBI, let us see the first round of rally just for an understanding. You see that the previous rally went up to 240. The stock retraced to take the support of the trend line at around 120. What would be your target if you get into this stock? Well, you will go candle by candle. You see a cluster of candles. If you have entered at one, just studying the candlesticks and your previous highs, you will see the cluster of moving averages at around 180 levels. So 180 should be your level of profit booking. You again review your stock whether it is moving past. Once it moves past, you see again the prominent resistance coming at around 200 levels, and then comes where the previous swing ended. So the previous swing ended at around 240 and it moved past. So that is what it means, that it is in the process of making higher tops, and the stock has moved past the previous high. So this is how it was getting in a trend. But since then, it has failed to make higher highs. We are still in the same territory. We are in a range bound move. But once again, with the help of trend line, we are getting a good buy strategy. So friends, this is how I think I have made myself pretty clear, using the moving average, using the trend line, using the combinations, how one can better the trade, minimizing the stop losses, having favorable risk reward ratios, and maximizing your profit. So this is how one needs to really study. try to put in whatever we have done so far, try to do it in your day-to-day chart and see how well you can do it. And of course, not to miss out on your paper trades. So that is it for today. Thank you. I'm open to any questions that you have. Yeah, so someone is asking me that yesterday I had recommended 20 period and 100 period. That is what I said, that you can use whatever suits you, but for a smaller period time frame, you may use 20 to 50. For a longer period, you may use 50 to 100. It varies for the time period that you would use. What is your style of trade that you are getting into? If you're an intraday, I had explained to you that smaller period time frame and smaller period moving averages need to use. So you got to be flexible as per your time period that you are choosing. Is there any software or app where we can practice this? Where I mentioned TradingView, that is one of the sites that one can do. See, I repeatedly have been recommending you to read Investopedia, because those also have got a few pattern explanation, how patterns can be identified, how ascending triangle, descending triangle, how do they form. So currently, I think in Nifty, we are seeing an ascending triangle. Make a note of that and see how it goes. So whatever we have done in the past, try to apply just using your moving averages. Come to a 60-minute chart, come to a 15-minute chart, do your homework on that and see how it goes. So on basis of that, you choose your, depending on your time period, choose your moving averages. Yes, 20 to 50 is very well. It works very well. So like someone is asking me that how confident we are with the trend line. As I said, that just one indicator in isolation cannot be used. You need to use a combination of 2 to 3. So I suggest RSI, moving average. Trend line is as and when the opportunity arises, because it is not necessary that every time, every chart you can draw a trend line. Investopedia is online training. How to draw the trend line on a chart? I practiced on Nifty on the chart of investing.com. Okay, I shall do that tomorrow. I shall give you live training on how to draw a trend line. Let's do that tomorrow. So RSI is inbuilt, 14 close, that is inbuilt. It is just an indicator that you got to plot it on your chart. Swing, again, it differs, whether it is a daily chart, whether it is a weekly chart, whether it is an hourly chart. So swing is just one low to one high, which is done above the, below and above the moving average, and from there on it retraces. So that is what we mean by a swing. How will you know that the trend will be the stock will be taking support? Well, that is where our prudence lies. That is why you are. We do not know how long. Normally, I will say that 3 to 4 occurrences take place. Once you get your trades, even for a moving average, 3 to 4 support levels are taken. Post that, you may see a reversal. So normally 3 to 4 moves post the first signal, buy signal or a sell signal, work very well. After that, the stock or the index can become sluggish. It can become a sideways move, consolidation, or a reversal. So 3 to 4 support retracements work very well. So that is how your confidence should be. And plus, that is the reason why we say that buy near the support of the trend line, because that gives you a favorable risk reward. We do not buy in between the trend, we buy at the support of the trend. So confidence is, well, that only time tells. That is where your risk, that no trade is with full confidence. You have to take this risk. So that's it for today. Thank you.